What's up guys, it's Nick, and today I'm going to explain how, contrary to popular belief, stance cars can actually get more miles out of their tires than ordinary cars. One of the first things that I often see when seeing a picture on Facebook or Instagram of a car with tilty wheels that people just don't understand is, wow, they must spend a lot of money on tires. But this isn't always the case. Now, you might come up with an example where you tell me, my friend slammed his Miata and he only got 4,000 miles out of his set of tires. That's probably true. However, your friend probably didn't have a proper alignment after stancing his car. Another argument that I often see is just a picture of a tire with camber wear. This is where a tire wears unevenly on one side of the tire than the other side of the tire. However, guys, this is different than premature tire wear. Premature tire wear is usually uneven, like camber wear. However, it's caused by bad alignments and broken suspension components and things like that. This is what camber wear or uneven tire wear looks like. That's where this side is worn down completely. Look, as you can see, it's a little bit bald on this side. And this side of the tire is still brand new. Just because my tire wore this way does not mean that I got less miles out of my tire than somebody else whose tire didn't wear this way. Typically, when you lower a car, a lot of times you'll have camber where your wheels will go in, but also your toe will be off. So you got your two wheels in front of you. You got your left wheel right here and your right wheel right here, facing perfectly straight. When you lower your car, you'll get a little bit of camber and a little bit of toe in or toe out. Either way, that will cause your tires to wear prematurely. In order to take care of this, you need to take your car in, get in alignment. Obviously, if you have a stance car, then you don't want them to correct the camber. You just want them to match it on both sides. And then set the toe to either 0 or close to 0 with a little bit of toe in or toe out, depending on how you want the car to perform. A lot of times when you add a ton of camber using aftermarket arms or just lowering it in general, you cannot compensate for the toe enough from the factory. In this case, you need what's called a compensator arm. We'll take a look in here. Here's my aftermarket camber arm. Don't mind how dirty things are in here. I did have to drive this car this winter a couple times. And then way down here, right there, that little blue arm right there, that is a compensator arm. You can see from the bolt on the right here that that's how you normally adjust the toe. This arm gives you extra adjustment so you can center the toe even when you're stanced. What that does is that allows you to get a proper alignment, so as you're driving down the road, your tire doesn't really wear much more than it would if it was flat on the ground. Now you might notice that I said won't wear much more. If you have a tire that is straight on the ground where the entire contact patch is making contact with the ground where it's supposed to, then you have more tire on the ground. You're gonna generally have a little bit more life out of your tire because you don't have all of the weight on your car on one small section of tire. When you have a stance car and you're only using half to 3/4 of the tire, then you have more weight on that smaller section of tire, and that section of tire is going to wear a little bit more than if the entire tire was on the ground. What that means is that if I have a tire that's rated for 20,000 miles and I'm stanced, I have -4, -7 degrees of camber, I might only get 15,000 miles out of that tire. Now I know you're saying, Nick, this video is supposed to be how stance cars get more miles out of their tires. Well, I'm not done yet. Because I'm only using half of my tire, only that half of the tire gets worn down. Now here comes the life hack. I thought most people know about this, but it seems that not all do. If you have a stance car, the idea is to buy directional tires. This means the tire can only rotate in one direction. It can only be mounted with the tread facing to rotate in one direction. With these types of tires, they can be mounted on either the left side of the car or the right side of the car. It does not matter what sidewall of the tire is bearing most of the load of the car. Because of this, when one side of the tire wears down, you can take that tire, have it dismounted, and then mount it on the other wheel on the other side of the car, and vice versa. Then you have the tire that was originally on the left side of your car now on the right side of your car, and the tire that was on the right side of the car now on your left side of the car. Take a look. Going back to my tire here, you can see that I have already had this done. Here is the face of my wheel right here on the side of the tire that is all worn down. So now I'm gonna go ahead and mount this tire back on the car, and I'm gonna ride mostly on this side of the tire that you can see is almost brand new still. Now, I don't have a ton of camber on my car in the front, so this side did get worn down a little bit. I'm not gonna get double the miles out of my tires, but I'm still gonna be better off than if I didn't have camber in the first place. Now, on that tire that was rated for 20,000 miles, I'm getting close to 30,000 miles out of it, out of my stance car. That doesn't touch the other arguments against stance cars that come out though. Yes, having less contact patch on the ground is going to give you less grip because you have less tire on the ground, so you are sacrificing performance for looks. I'm fine with that. That's kind of why I built my cars. You can make up for that a little bit by buying grippier tires than you would normally. Another argument that you'll see come up a lot is safety. And yes, if you have crazy amounts of camber, like negative 20 degrees of camber, things like that, then yeah, you're gonna be riding on the sidewall of the wheel where there's no tread. It's gonna be like driving on slicks if you're in the rain, and it is going to be a little bit dangerous. And same thing goes if you have crazy stretch on a tire, you do risk the possibility of debeating. Now, I've run tires with a decent amount of stretch. I've run 9.5 wide tires with 205s on them. I've never had a tire debead. I do have friends who have had tires debead. It can happen. But going back to safety, if you're worried about the amount of contact patch I have to the ground, you have less tire on the ground, so you can consider it relatively unsafe. However, in comparison, go to your local Walmart parking lot and take a look at every single car's tires in the parking lot. You will see how many people are actually driving on unsafe bald tires. Obviously, that's illegal. Once the tire gets down to a certain point, it's technically illegal to drive on bald tires. However, there's 2-ton 50s cars on the road with bias ply tires, and that's perfectly legal. That is significantly more unsafe than a stance car driving on the road. You guys have to understand that. Not to mention, most of these cars that are stance are very light cars. Obviously people stance minivans, things like that, but typically they're Honda Civics. This thing weighs 2,200 pounds. Half of a 205 is more than enough to have grip with this car on the ground. Not to mention, as long as you don't have too much camber, you still have grooves in the tires. You got newer tires, you're gonna be relatively safe, even in the rain. So that's it, guys. I know this video probably has a lot of information that most of you already know, but a lot of people don't know this, especially your average Joe. So if you're a 16-year-old with his new car and you want to stance it and your dad's mad at you, go ahead and show him this video. Explain to him why it's not all that unsafe and that you'll actually potentially save a little bit of money reusing your tires. The hard part about this is finding somebody who will align your car and finding somebody who will flip your tires for you. Discount Tire won't do it. Bell Tire won't do it. You need to find either a friend that works at one of those places that can get away with it, or start looking at mom and pop shops around town. Most hot rod tire shops, they don't care. They'll do it. So look at places like that. Ask your friends where they get their tires mounted. You will find somewhere to get your tires mounted. Or if you're buying brand new wheels and tires together, check out Fitment Industries. I am not sponsored by them at all, but I see their ads all the time where they will mount your stretch tires for you and ship them to your door. I think that's really cool. I've never seen anybody offer a service like that. So check that out. If you have any arguments about anything that I've said in this video, good ones, bad ones, I don't care. I want to hear them all. Put them in the comment section below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, help me out just a little bit, and share the video to your friends. That would be great. I have a lot of content on my channel. I have 4 cars currently. I have 2 EK Civics, this one right here, and my daily. I have an FRS, and I also have a wide body Mini Cooper. All really cool cars. I post relatively regularly right now, usually about once every week or 2. So look forward to any new content that I have coming out. And thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.